Hi, my name is Patty, and I'm going to take you through a few quick steps in Syncrometer testing. The first thing I always start with is clean hands. I make sure that there's no soap residue, and then I go over it with some Everclear alcohol. I just spray it on and make sure that I have nothing left on my hands that will impact my testing. The first thing I always test for is to make sure that I can test positive for lymph. And we should all be testing positive for lymph, or if you don't have the lymph bottle, you can use another part of your body that we all know we have. So I do a real quick test on my knuckle. I start with the middle knuckle, and you count from 1001, and then you hit, I have the pedal is on the floor, you can't see me click it with my foot, and then once you hit the pedal and release it, you do another hold for a second and say 1002. I usually say it to myself, but that's what we're going to do, is see if I'm going to test positive for lymph. If you don't test positive for lymph, you probably need to get some water, walk around a little bit, and then try again. Don't give up, and sometimes it takes a couple hits, but if you come out negative, you're going to have to change your energy pattern a little bit and try again. So here we go. As you can see, I tested positive right away, and you could hear the pitch. I'm hoping you can hear the pitch. It started out, with like a C, and then it went higher. So we're going to do it again. And you can maybe hear the clicking of the pedal at the same time, but it went a lot higher when I pressed it the second time. Once you've tested positive for lymph, you also want to see, to make sure that you're hearing it correctly, is I have a helium bottle, and hopefully I test negative for the helium, because I don't think it should be presiding in my body, but we're going to test for helium. As you can see or hear, the sounds were similar, meaning it gave a negative signal, which meant I do not have helium in my body. Now, whenever you are testing yourself, you have nothing on the other plate. When you're testing somebody else's saliva or a product, we're going to be testing some celery in a second, you want to pull yourself out of the circuit. You would do that by putting a capacitor and an inductor on this plate, and this will take you out of the circuit. It does go over this in Dr. Clark's Syncrometer manual towards the back. Right now we're going to test this celery here, which I purchased today, and to see if it is positive for Clorox. You never want to put any food directly touching the metal. You always want to make sure that it's wrapped in some safe plastic. I have my Clorox bottle over here, and now I'm going to you always have to make sure you keep your fingers wet, and the copper pipe should always be very wet and saturated. And now we're going to test to see if it's positive for Clorox. It is negative. I got the same signal the first and the second time. Looks like I can include this in my soup today. That's good. Now I also want to show you, you can test for other things other than Clorox. One of the things that I found out recently was there was a jar of strawberry, it wasn't preserves, it was a spreadable fruit. Anyway, it was kosher, so I knew it was Clorox free. I tested it anyway, but it came in a glass jar. Well, I ended up, my anemia went on the fritz again, and it was caused by gold, my exposure to gold, being trapped in my bone marrow. So I decided the only glass I had was this jelly or whatever. So we're going to test it for gold. You can hear it going up on the second run when I touch it, so it is positive for gold. You can also take things from like a detergent or something, you don't want to put the detergent bottle on your sample plate, your testing plate. What you do is get a sample of it and put it in a safe plastic bag and put that for testing. This particular detergent I was checking for, it had the U on it, which generally means it's free of Clorox, but I wanted to make sure that it was free of mercury, because that is a very common toxin that is in detergents. So we're going to check this real quick for mercury, and I'm going to hit my knuckle again. I just wet it. And you're getting the same pitch from the beginning to the end, which means it's negative for mercury. That's all I'm going to do for you today. I hope that this has helped you some in your syncrometer testing. Great.